Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Dak Prescott for MVP? He has Jerry Jones' vote. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is now the favorite to win the NFL MVP award at several sportsbooks. Prescott's performance against the Eagles in a 33-13 win on Sunday night wasn't his best performance of the year, but in the end, the win over Philadelphia was one he needed to stamp on his resume. After the game, the MVP chants from the crowd meant something unique for a player who has been heavily criticized, including by Cowboys fans. If Prescott does wind up winning MVP, it will certainly not be a wire-to-wire win, and that perfectly encapsulates his story as a player who has worked so hard to become so great. "It's Dak evolving," said Cowboys owner Jerry Jones after the game. He's working with head coach Mike McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and what we're trying to do offensively. Jones says Prescott is one of the best he's ever seen at taking what is taught by coaches to the field. Mike's injected his principles or ideas that he thought our personnel best suited. Dak stepped right in and worked with it and made it work, said Jones. "I think he's a great example to me about what football is. He's become most valuable player right before our eyes in the last several months," Jones continued. Jones says Sunday's win over the Eagles is the Cowboys' best in the Mike McCarthy era. Yahoo Sports' Jason Fitz and Frank Schwab discussed the Dallas Cowboys quarterback's MVP case after another impressive game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Hear the full conversation on Sunday Night Blitz, part of the Zero Blitz podcast, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Dallas, they didn't just beat the Eagles, they embarrassed the Eagles. 33-13, this just felt like one of those MVP-type games for Dak. He had some throws in this game that were just nobody, but his guy had a shot at it. And it was gorgeous to watch. I mean, there was a control to the way that Dak played the quarterback position. I felt like that was watching somebody that is one of the best be one of the best. His stat line, 24-39, 271, 2 touchdowns, that's good. It's good. But I don't think it paints the picture. Mike McCarthy, there's nothing to juggle, we have to beat Buffalo. The Cowboys got a big win over the Eagles on Sunday night, and head coach Mike McCarthy said on Monday that the team's confidence is probably as high as it has been all season. It's not hard to understand why that's the case. The win over the Eagles was their 5th in a row, and they've averaged 40.2 points per game over that streak, but McCarthy also knows that everything will look different if they can't keep things rolling in Week 15. The Cowboys are just 3-3 on the road this season, and they will be in Buffalo to face a Bills team fighting for its playoff life after securing a huge win of their own in Kansas City. That game will be followed by dates with the Dolphins and Lions, which McCarthy believes are gonna be juggernauts for his club. All of that will play out against the Cowboys' bid for a division title and the number 1 seed in the NFC. Landing those prizes will require losses by the Eagles and 49ers along with continued winning for Dallas, which is what McCarthy emphasized when asked about the playoff picture. "There's nothing to juggle," McCarthy said, via the team's website. "You can't control what the other aspects of it are. We need to beat Buffalo. When we're standing at 11 wins, then we'll look around and things will be a little more clear. Wins in Buffalo and Miami might not get the Cowboys to the top of the conference, but they would add to the team's confidence that they can win multiple games away from home in the postseason. Cowboys could make sneaky quarterback trade with Vikings in 2024. The Dallas Cowboys rumors are going to swirl throughout the offseason about the team making a potential quarterback trade. Likewise, the Vikings rumors are surging after Minnesota scored a whopping 3 points against the Raiders in Week 14. Minnesota has massive uncertainty at quarterback with Kirk Cousins recovering from an ACL injury. Cousins will also be a free agent in 2024. The clock appears to have struck midnight for Josh Dobbs, who was benched against Las Vegas. Enter the Cowboys, who have 3 quarterbacks and a massive bill coming due with star players set to receive lucrative extensions. Dak Prescott is not going anywhere and has emerged as the favorite for the NFL MVP award, leaving potential decisions about the futures of Trey Lance and Cooper Rush. All 3 quarterbacks are under contract for 2024. Heavy Sports previously detailed why Seattle could be a landing spot for Lance. Yet, the Vikings have even more urgency to add a quarterback than the Seahawks, given the team's current situation. As a bonus, Lance is a Minnesota native, so the Vikings would be a homecoming of sorts. Lance was a standout quarterback at Marshall High School, where he was a 3-star recruit, per 247 Sports. The 33rd team's Connor Livesay labeled Lance as a surprise trade candidate this offseason and the Vikings as a potential trade partner with the Cowboys. When the Dallas Cowboys traded for Trey Lance this offseason, questions regarding Dak Prescott were at the forefront of the conversation, Livesay wrote in a December 8 article titled Surprising NFL Players Who Could Be Traded This Offseason. Prescott has answered those questions with an MVP-caliber season. This offseason, he's likely looking to receive his second big-money contract extension with the Cowboys. If the Cowboys stick with Rush at QB2, they could start calling quarterback-needy teams that missed out on Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels in the 2024 NFL Draft. Lance might raise the ceiling on Dallas' QB2 spot, but the Cowboys could get a better return for Lance than what they paid from teams such as the Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints, or Seattle Seahawks. If those teams miss out on the top passers in the draft, they could see Lance as a viable option. Dallas could opt to stick with all three quarterbacks once again, but this is an expensive proposition. Prescott's cap hit is slated to be a sizable $59.4 million in the final year of a $160 million deal. This is partly why the Cowboys must sign Prescott to an extension this offseason in order to lower this number. Lance's cap hit spikes from $940,000 in 2023 to $5.3 million in 2024, a lot of money for a third-string quarterback. Rush is the most reasonably priced of the three signal callers with a $2.8 million cap hit. The veteran will be in the final season of a 2-year, $5 million deal. Assuming Cousins does not return, Rush or Lance would represent an upgrade from the Vikings' current quarterback situation. There are sure to be plenty of Vikings rumors offering potential solutions, including Lance, this offseason. Dallas traded a 4th-round pick to the 49ers for Lance. If the Cowboys explore moving the quarterback, it will be interesting to see what Dallas could net in a new deal for Lance. The 23-year-old quarterback will still have trade value given Lance is less than 3 years removed from being the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Cowboys and Vikings fans, let us know in the comments section below whether you prefer a Lance or Rush trade this offseason. And you fan, what do you think of the Trey Lance situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.